welcome to Conversations and Opinions. I'm Caronica.
I'm Tarvis.
I'm Clorissa.
And I'm Shae. And today we are talking about a old subject called deal breakers. And what does deal breakers look like in the family, with your relationships, with anything that could be an issue for you? So, girls, how are we going to start this segment? Clorissa, would you like to start and tell me what your deal breaker is?
Well, first of all, deal breakers are not a negative thing. I think sometimes people look at deal breakers as you being too rigid or you got a crazy list of stuff. Deal breakers are not bad. They're just the things you don't go for, the things that you can't manage through or handle in a relationship.
Correct.
So to each his own, because there have been some guys that I thought was like a no, and then I see them with somebody else and they doing all the right stuff, and it's like, oh, my deal breaker didn't bother her at all. So deal breakers for me, you have to be family oriented. If you're not family oriented, we probably wouldn't work out in a relationship. Friendships, deal breakers for me are just being one-sided. You know, I can't be your dumping ground, and if I have a problem, you can't ever be available to help me through a situation. Even with raising children, deal breakers, we can have a beautiful, amazing friendship, but there is a line in the sand. I'm the parent, you're the kid, and there's a level of respect that's just going to stay there. So those are some surface deal breakers for me. We can move along, and maybe I'll share some more later.
Okay, awesome. And my lovely cousin, Tarvis.
Deal breakers for me, I think, in a relationship is, and this probably is going to be superficial, but I don't care. It's a true deal breaker. Bad breath.
Oh, yeah.
Bad breath and that hygiene.
Yeah.
I don't want to have a conversation. Your breath is consistently stinking, or you're quite, your odor, your body. I don't want to have that conversation because we're adults. In family, I don't know, without, giving too much, I think thievery is a deal breaker for me because all you have to do is ask. Period.
Right.
Just ask. You may not like the answer, but just ask. And that's pretty much easy because I'm pretty much easygoing. It takes a lot for me to just cut you off, but I don't know. It's just...
Oh, I know, you're sweet.
Well, bless your heart.
Wow.
Well, deal breakers for me in relationships, well, you definitely have to be a family man for me, because that's big for me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Friendships... friendships are, I agree, one-sided. You can't just, you have to,
I agree with that too.
Give each other, equal honesty in friendships.
Yes.
And I'm going to go with just general deal breakers and people just in general. I don't even want to get to know you if you are a person who is just a negative person, a nasty person.
Yes.
A person that just I can't stand a person who's not polite. I'm continuing.
I was going to say because there are some
I'm big on like customer service and just being friendly. It doesn't take a lot to be a friendly person.
Right.
That gets you a lot in places in life, being friendly. Like negativity, just being nasty for no reason. Like I can't. It's no
That's
person.
A pet peeve there, right?
Girl.
Oh wow.
I can't. I don't like any. I don't dislike anybody, but those people are instantly like on my.
Not for me list.
Can't do nothing for you. I'm sorry. I try. I can't. Oh, wow. But that's the biggest one for me.
Yeah, for me, let me get that list out. When it comes to relationships, I don't want nobody who do drugs.
Okay.
I don't want nobody who don't keep themselves up as far as like hygiene and stuff like that. Even when it comes to like I know that I try to, be healthier, and I try to work out, and I try to do certain things. I don't always accomplish correctly, but I do try. And so I don't want someone who won't try to be healthy. Because there's a lot of people who, their lifestyle is just to basically eat junk all the time, and they don't really care. Like if I say, hey, let's go walking, I don't want to do that. I don't want somebody who don't want to try certain things. Also, I don't want someone who dismiss me when I am speaking to them, or try to have a conversation with them, or try to let them know how I feel about certain things, and they just kind of like dismiss or pretend like I'm not even having a conversation with them. I don't want someone who is very rude, and they have issues with taking care of their children, or don't want to take care of their kids, don't even name their kids. They don't even know if they got kids. Because they don't even try to make sure that things are good. When it comes to family, of course you don't want lying or somebody backstabbing you or something, or even taking stuff from you. You don't want to deal with stuff like that. I mean, family's family, but for the most part, I stay in my cubby hole if that's the case, because I can't deal with certain stuff. So I stay to myself if that's how it's going to be. So when it comes to family, that's what it is. Other things I want to talk about, guys, when it comes to deal breakers and marriage, because we have situations where you and Caronica are married, but me and Tarvis are single. And so with deal breakers, a lot of times, it's different for the two situations. Like we can just have stuff on the surface, but it's even deeper when you're married.
Right.
So what do you have, like, what are your deal breaker when it comes to being married to someone? What would you say, okay, I can't do this anymore?
Hitting, first of all, just any type of physical force.
Or mental.
That's the second thing, because that's the thing that people don't even acknowledge is a form of abuse, but like abusive behavior.
Right.
There's a fine line between, being really upset and then it turning to an abusive tone.
Right.
Everybody's entitled to feel upset. Everybody's entitled to have an emotional day and things like that, but it's a different thing when it crosses the line, or your day outside of the house affects how you come home and treat myself and the family. So abusive behavior, mentally or physically, is a turnoff, because if I can't feel safe, like that's the number one.
That's a big thing.
Right there.
That's a huge
and
thing.
both people deserve to feel safe in the marriage. So this is not just a women need to feel safe. The man should feel safe too.
Correct.
They go through stuff like that too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Your household is your safe haven. So anything that's a constantly disrupted environment for me is a deal breaker. So if every time I come home there's critical words or physical. I don't like silent treatment. I don't like stuff like that. Stuff that turns the environment into a hostile one. Are turn offs for me. Not speaking, or going to sleep in a different room. Things like that are deal breakers for me.
Going to bed angry.
Deal
so
breaker. Communication is a
communication.
Proper
it's funny because I was speaking to someone and they were saying that the deal breaker for them in their marriage was like their husband talking behind their back and getting people against them.
Yes.
So
that's bad.
I was thinking about that. I was like, yeah, that could be a big deal breaker because you're wondering why people are not liking you, and it's because of the person who's right next to your partner. And it's that was. So, that would be a deal breaker for me. Like, you just going behind, you're not protecting me.
At all.
There's no protection there. So that would be like, that's the biggest one for me. And it goes for like mental, physical abuse and things like that. So, that's big for me.
Wow. That's crazy. I think when it comes to deal breaking, I think it like goes so far as to even when it comes to your parents. Or when it comes to, isn't that a big thing? Like, can you feel, like, how do you feel if your parent did something that you consider to be something bad enough to where you would say that's a deal breaker and I don't want to deal with you no more? Like, isn't that crazy? Like, to actually be able to say that out your mouth and say, like, that's a deal breaker for my mom or dad.
Yeah, but those exist.
I know people who parents have like their mothers have like their mother has mental illness and they refuse to acknowledge and get on medication. So they do random things all the time.
Right.
So what can you do with that? Like, you try to help them, but you can't do it. But then you're kind of putting your family in danger too. And it's like you want to help, but
I can't let you destroy
if you're not trying to get the help.
Yeah.
Right.
So does that put you in a situation of not having unconditional love? Because for the parent, as a parent, if your child has mental issues, you would want them to love you through that. So at what point does it become a deal breaker because
I think
it's the parent?
Different when it's different if you're seeking to get help and doing stuff like that. If you're refusing help, and someone have a mental issue, I know people who have dealt with that person. That doesn't look good. It's a different. I mean, people have come home with houses on fire and they have children. What do you do with that? Like, if you can't get your parent to say that they want to you can't help a person who don't want help. That's like a drug addict. It's not that you don't love the person, but what can you do with somebody who does not want the help?
Yeah, there's a difference between
Yeah.
a person who is mentally ill and can't do anything about it,
Right.
and one who is aware that they have a drinking problem or they have a disorder that affects their chemistry and they just refuse.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
like, hey, family member, you mean the world to me, but when you get into that thing, it scares my children. It's hurtful to me to hear those words. You know, here's some resources that I found.
Right.
I don't need
Let's
no
try
help.
that.
I don't
Yeah,
need
let's
that.
try this. Let's put you on this. But they refuse it. So it's like,
I can't allow you to come into my environment and
because you're
destroy
hurting
what
me.
I've
Because it's one thing you're hurting yourself.
Yeah.
It's another thing you're hurting me.
Oh no, I get it. I just found it interesting, Shae's question about deal breakers for a parent.
Yes.
They exist.
Because again,
That's real though.
you guys are parents. Shae and I aren't. So in my mind, I don't see where there would be a deal breaker for your kid.
There is a deal breaker for your
Yeah.
children. There's a deal breaker for
For
every
everything.
relationship that
Yeah.
exists.
Every
And it may
relationship.
hurt, but
Yeah.
you can't allow people to hurt you.
Amen.
We are in the
amen,
same
to
family, and we
them
know
unto
there
God.
are some family members
Right.
who have
Yes.
endured years of duress at the hands of other people.
Yeah.
And in the name of
Abuse
love, they just keep
and-
going. It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
no. Not in the name of love. I'm going to just keep letting you kick me and beat me and,
Right.
not physically, but like in situations.
It's parents that have died. Just
Right.
It's parents that when
have died,
Okay.
not know anything but suffering because
Yeah.
of on the hands of their kids.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, some people go through it, but sometimes you gotta choose you because your kids become grown and they choose not to. I mean,
powerful.
And there should be
I'm
deal
just-
breakers with yourself too.
yeah,
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
What
Because
you just
the
said.
things I said I don't want in a relationship, I've been the aggressor in relationships before. So I can't say you can't be an aggressor toward me, but I also have aggressive behavior. Deal breakers don't just go for the other people;
Right,
it goes
right.
for you and your
Right.
You have to
behavior. too.
examine yourself.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, and have an
Very good.
understanding. Yeah, because I mean, I'm a nice person, but I mean, anybody who gets escalated enough can be different.
That was a nice word.
Yeah.
Right. That's a good one because you have to be truthful with yourself.
Yeah.
Like, if you can't pick your deal breakers if you are the problem. Because
Yeah.
it's like, okay,
Now you're lying. You're living a lie.
right.
What are they doing?
You can't. You're lying. You're
Right.
lying.
You're mentally abusing yourself.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes, exactly.
You're physically abusing yourself.
Yes.
Like, so yeah, you have to be realistic. You have to be real with yourself because sometimes you have to do a self examination. Like what do I need to fix in myself?
But a lot of people don't do that.
Have you guys ever been on the wrong side of a deal breaker?
Yeah.
Like
I
a
think I
situation
have.
you want to be in, and the person had a deal breaker that you like. They had to let you go because
Yeah.
you were
Yeah.
you were
Yes.
constantly
Yes.
doing something that
Yeah.
was a deal breaker.
I'm
for
sure I
them.
have been.
You just may not-
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
How does that feel, Shae?
Well, I mean, I'll be transparent. Like, I've been on a deal breaker on the side of the person who felt like, okay, this is a deal breaker. When you're dating someone and you're trying to get to know someone, I didn't finish a degree, so with that, that could be a deal breaker for someone, you know, or like when it comes to like, I'm too plump for the next person, even though he might have, you know, trying to talk to me and stuff like
what
that.
What are you gonna do, Shae?
He's trying to talk to me and stuff like that, but you know, it could be so many things, and then it's like, oh, you know, some guys be like, well, I've had people say, "Are you too light or you too dark?"
Really?
I've had people.
Wow.
I mean, not necessarily like in that negative type.
They didn't
of
say it
tone,
mean,
but it's
but
just
People know how to word things.
Yeah.
it's just like, I mean, like you can meet somebody and you're like, oh, this one guy, he said, oh, I thought you were lighter, or they might say, oh, you too light for me. There's been people like say, wow, you're pretty light. I didn't realize, you know, it just depends on the situation, or like, you know, depending on how you're dating or what you like, how you're meeting and all that stuff. Or then you can have people say, oh, you work too much. Or it could be so many things.
Well, here's a tip. If you have been on
Not a tip.
if you
Not
have,
a
She got a solution right now.
I got a solution for
Professor.
I got a solution for everybody.
Right,
If you have
okay.
been on a date and you have not got a call back, or they have acted funny after your date,
Yes.
you
On the wrong side.
You are on the wrong side.
Of the deal breaker.
Right, and the
there's
same
nothing
goes to
wrong
both
with it.
ways.
Yeah.
If you went on a date and the guy you start acting funny,
Yeah.
they were on that.
Yeah.
They were on the wrong side.
Yeah.
It goes
And you
both
can't
ways.
even be mad.
You
No,
can't.
it's
Why
usually
would
when they
you?
tell
Because
the
I
truth.
got so many
would
deal
you?
breakers on my side to where I already know.
How
like,
dare I not let you have a
girl,
list too?
look,
Right.
you
Yeah.
can
Right.
you can have a list because I'm telling you right now, I got a long ass list. You hear me?
Okay.
See?
And like it's bad.
Where
Now,
have you
see-
found yourself on the wrong side of a deal breaker?
This thing right here. Right here, right
Oh,
here, right here.
okay.
This mouth.
Okay.
And what I found is that me being a matter of fact or straightforward, telling it like it is, a lot of people can't handle that and they take it as me being aggressive. And I don't have a malicious bone in my body. I can be mean, but I try not to because I don't want nobody to be mean to me. But I've had men say to me, T, your mouth, you cool,
Yeah.
but your mouth. And then the ones that stick around, the mouth don't even phase them. It was like, oh, okay.
So some
Thank
guys
you.
like it, some
Yeah,
don't.
yeah.
Has it made you want to curtail some of your behaviors?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Because what I've learned in my maturity and as I get older is I have to meet people where they are in life because I want them to do that for me.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, you can't deal with it. I'm cool with it. We'll just be friends.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I don't, it's not like, oh, well, we're not even going to go through it. We're not going to do the dance. We ain't going to do the entanglement. None of that.
Right.
So how do you tell someone in a situation that because honesty is really a thing that people respect.
Yes.
How do you tell someone that they don't make the cut in any type of relationship, job, family, romantic relationship? How do you tell them that they don't make the cut? Are you an honest person? Okay, let's go around and say what you are. Are you honest and just tell it, or do you ghost them?
I'm
Are
honest.
you a ghoster?
Honest all the time.
Okay.
I've done both.
I'm gonna say
Okay.
I've done, but because it depends on what type of person. It's hard for me to be honest to people who are very sweet. But
Okay.
if you are not so sweet,
If you're a jerk.
then I don't have a problem with being honest with you.
Yeah.
But if you are a really nice person, it's like, dang.
I hate that I hate your nose.
Like, right. I can't tell you I hate your nose, so it just got to be like, oh, it's me.
It's the opposite
Yeah,
of me.
Me too, because
It's the
I'm
opposite
going
with
to
me.
tell you what it is. And I'll start off, I don't mean to hurt your feelings, but this is where I am.
Okay.
And that's it. We don't
See, I don't feel like I'm entitled. I don't feel like. I feel like I cannot tell somebody I don't like your nose.
Yeah.
Like, who am I to tell you
Yeah.
that I don't like your nose?
Yeah.
Like, I have to put it on myself. Like, it's
Yeah,
me.
you take the
Like,
blame.
how dare you tell somebody you don't like their nose? Like, that's
Look at Shae.
So I'm just gonna say that it's harder for me to tell somebody who's an a-hole than it is somebody who's nice. Like somebody who I'm nice, like nicer, and I can have a conversation with, and we can just talk about certain things. Like, I don't like the whole smoking thing, or I can tell them that there's some people that I've who have like they're very aggressive, and they're very in your face type of way to where it's almost kind of like, I don't know.
You're provoking it if you tell.
I feel like he's going to cuss me out if I even tell him anything.
Okay.
And then it's going to be a situation.
So you ghost in that situation?
I will. I hate to say ghost. It's just
I'm
fact
ghosting
that
if he's doing all that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that the person is cussing you out, but it's just the way their approach is with other things make you feel like, okay,
they can't handle that truth.
I don't think they're going to be able to handle the fact that I think you're aggressive, or I don't want you as a woman. I want someone who has is a manly man, someone who is a head of the household type of guy, but at the same time, he's not over here like literally almost yelling at me, but in his mind he's not, because that's just how he projects himself. Mm-hmm. It's, or someone who's basically pushing, like sometimes people will try to push you into a relationship or push you into certain things that you're not ready for yet, but yet because they're trying to make you do something. And I'm like, sir, I just met you yesterday. Mm-hmm. And you're talking about what we're going to do in our relationship. Mm-hmm.
Those are psychos.
But those type of people kind of make me feel, I'm not going to say scared of them, but it's uncomfortable.
Okay.
So people,
it makes you uncomfortable to tell them you're a deal breaker?
No. It's just the fact that I'm not going to provoke somebody that I'm thinking that's a little off.
So I mean, that's okay to be absent and remove yourself from that situation. If it's going to provoke. Because promote provocative.
I have tried to tell somebody about a certain thing, and I thought they was on that nice side, but I realized they wasn't on the nice side, and then they just went off. And I was like, sir.
But sometimes you see people's true colors in certain conversations.
And that's what happens.
And people cannot handle the truth. I'm so sorry. Everybody says they want the truth so bad. But when the second you tell it, they say, well, just, what is it about me that you don't, and then you say, well, wow, I'm glad you opened up this.
Wow.
I love honesty. Tell me.
You're grateful, and then you say it, and then they want to either disagree with everything you said, or now that you've told me the things, I'm going to tell you the 95 things about you that's ugly and I can't. Then you're like, well, okay.
No.
Yeah, like it shouldn't be all like that. My thing is like, if we're talking and we're dating and you don't like something, or it's something about me that it ain't hitting it for me. Like, I mean, and that's cool, because it's a whole bunch of people who wasn't hitting it for me either. So I can't get mad at this person because they're not
like
interested.
If we're just going out on one or two dates, I don't need the list. Just say it ain't working out.
Yeah.
I mean, I just feel like that. Now, if it's long, I just don't need the list. It ain't right. It's not necessary.
Have y'all ever moved past the deal breaker?
What do you mean by move past it?
Have you said, oh, yeah, they totally do cocaine, and I don't want a guy who does cocaine, but he's so cute.
Not necessarily cocaine.
But anything, like, have you bypassed your own red flag?
I've done it like once or twice.
Yes,
it turned out badly.
Me too.
It was the smoking thing that happened once, and then it was the fact that this person had a little bit of aggression to them, but it wasn't so bad until when you realize that the aggression was really jealousy. Like, they have issues with you,
So
being
bypassing
around.
Your gut didn't turn out well for you.
Well, I bypassed, and we had a conversation, and things changed. And it was
for the positive.
Oh, yeah, thank you. I'm going to work on that.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
that's good.
That was really good.
Like, I appreciate you telling me, because I've been in any other relationship, I never knew, or they never spoke to me about it. So I'm like, okay.
Yeah, that was a nice person.
Yeah. It was a grown person.
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What you said? They were what now?
Grown.
Okay, there you go.
I guess I have, but I just feel like I shouldn't have been dating the person in the first place. So I think the whole person was a deal breaker.
So it just falls back on you anyway. It's like,
so it's just like whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. What?
Okay, girls.
Well, we're interested to hear what everybody else thinks about deal breakers.
Yeah.
Are we crazy? Did we say too much? I mean, should we raise our standards? And for our cousins who are single, Let's give them some deal breakers that maybe, you know how people have the list and then you hear the 95 things on their list and you're like, okay, so his hair's not purple, so you won't date him?
Oh, no.
Is there such thing as a list that's too obnoxious? What do y'all think?
Absolutely.
It is.
When it comes to physical, the only deal breaker I have is you have to be like attractive. Again, like I said on another episode, I think, where I said I can't wake up and say, "Good morning, honey." I need to be able to look at you.
Okay.
You ain't got to be super fine.
She's so cute.
But I'm like, hey, not hey. I'm not.
You're just real simple.
Is there anything, okay, Caronica, let me
Super
ask
simple.
you this. Was there anything on your pre-marriage list that you realized was some BS and then you had to knock some things off your list and then realize that love can come from somewhere that you didn't think it could?
I think the biggest one on mine was, like, I always had, like, the tallest person on my list.
Mm-hmm.
And
Height.
So the height was the biggest thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think that was the biggest thing for me, because everything else, I won't say the other parts because people going to be like, they trying to come for me. So, I ain't going to be
They
coming
gonna
for me
know,
yet.
yeah.
But that was the biggest thing. And, you realize that all that ain't all that important.
Yeah,
correct.
But I've dated prior to that, and I kind of, as you know, that kind of like scratched off the board anyway.
Yeah.
But it's funny because I was listening when you said before about the list. I was listening to Sean Johnson's, the gymnast.
Oh, yeah.
And her husband was talking, and they was talking about the deal breakers and stuff, and somebody mentioned that the ridiculousness of the list.
Yeah.
Of they won't date somebody who don't have a headboard. So a
bed headboard?
Yeah, a bed headboard.
wow.
So I'm just saying, sometimes these lists are.
I hated headboards for a
no.
very long time.
Sometimes these lists are just crazy.
Yeah.
Like sometimes
Did
we
you?
do have to go back
I like
to.
I didn't like them.
We have to go back to these lists sometime and just kind of
Clean it up. Because sometimes you're being ridiculous or it gets outdated.
Right.
It gets
Right.
really outdated because, as you get older, you can't necessarily say he got to have a six-pack anymore because you got some...
Roll.
you got some stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
You can't necessarily
Yeah.
say, well, they have to make $7 million when you've been working on your same $7 million for 20
Right.
years.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
okay, let me knock that off the list.
Right.
So, yeah, I know for myself, I knock things off the list and it opened my eyes more to looking at qualities
Right.
versus
Yes.
physical attributes.
Yes.
Now,
And that's more what I was looking for, the quality of stuff.
Yeah.
And then
Quality of the person.
Yeah,
Right.
and
Right.
now the physical and stuff, what I like was there.
Yeah.
But like the little things,
The packaging wasn't the same.
And I think those things were gone off my list anyway, but I didn't go back and clean it up.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
It was
Right,
just on there in my
right.
mind. I'm saying
As
that,
you matured.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I ain't
That's
mature yet because I still like tall.
Yeah, Shay's.
Well, there's nothing wrong with having
It's nothing what you
preferences,
like. I feel like it's nothing wrong with preferences, but when you are one of the people like, I'm not dating him unless he's a Gemini. And
That's
That's different.
I've been kicked off the
But
list
how
because
different-
I am a Gemini 1,000 times. Have you ever had?
Yes,
Yeah.
people are serious about the life.
Yeah.
But how different is it if you? Because sometimes you might be a great guy, he might be 5'10".
And it's funny you should say that because I used to be like Shae. Oh, he has to be tall, this. But I found out that I was missing out on a lot of good men,
Amazing.
even if it was just a friendship.
You're right.
You
So-
didn't be friends with shorter guys?
No,
Right, dang.
no.
Jeez.
Alrighty.
No. What I mean is even giving them the opportunity to take me out or whatever. So I've just opened up to the fact that, okay, we can go out. Let's see where this goes. I don't discount you because you're short anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm talking about,
Right.
the height. Because when you have that physical characteristic, at one point I was like, you gotta be 6 feet. If you ain't 6 feet, I ain't fooling with you. You can't even take me out. Now, okay, if I'm attracted to you, I feel a little something. Let's see where it goes. Let's go out on a date. Yeah.
I just need them to be taller than me. Because we can't be sitting next to each other and look like number 10. I'm just saying.
Oh, girl, I feel you.
Do you understand what I'm talking about?
Yes,
So I'm gonna
ma'am.
need you
Not the number
look,
10.
I don't
ma'am.
want to look like your mom.
Yes, yes,
So
ma'am.
I'm just all I'm
Yes,
saying.
ma'am,
That's
I
all. I'm
understand.
not
But why
necessarily.
would the height make you?
You just don't understand.
If the guy is the same height as her, and she's a nice plump,
Plump,
not plump,
exactly.
voluptuous woman, and he's this
Bada
nice
boom.
shredded,
She said straight.
you looking like
wow.
a 1 in
It-
a
it-
round
it's
number.
just
it
not-
ain't cute. I
it
feel
ain't
you
cute.
1,000%.
See, I look at things like that.
Girl, yes. Yes.
So
she's not
and then
crazy.
looking like like when you got somebody's like super skinny and short, and then like you're there and it's like,
Girl,
is that like you look like the mom?
you can beat him up.
And we're not talking about short guys.
We're
No,
no. We're
We're
not.
not.
We're basically talking about me.
Because that's what it all
And-
boils
and
down.
how I'm
Here's
viewing
why we
myself.
can't date short guy. Well, why I previously couldn't.
How?
Because you can't be 5'5" and be standing next to me because I feel like
But because
you feel like what?
I feel like it looks like I take over everything, including the lunch
Like-
and the
like,
dinner.
yeah.
If you're taller than me and you're skinny, that's totally workable because it's like, oh, she's so cute. Look at her. Oh, But if we're the same height and you're thin as the wind, it just don't look right. If I can pick you up and walk around with you,
Not pick him
I
up.
don't feel attractive
Did you
anymore.
say pick him up?
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Oh my gosh.
I'm done.
But she's not. I mean, that's what plump girls think.
Just think about
Look,
what it looks like, though. It does look crazy. When you see a really thin guy with a girl that's similar in height and she's round as a house.
They have memes like that.
Yeah.
Round as a what?
Big as a house.
House. She said,
And he's
round
thin as the
a
wind.
house.
It looks, it can look, it just doesn't look aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong. There's some people out there with some beautiful, fine, big women and some guys that are in shape and he loves every
Right.
bit of her and he picking her up and doing all that stuff. But it's an insecurity and we accept it.
I'm so insecure with that. I'm being honest.
Yeah. So, yeah.
I know I ain't the only one.
No, she's not, and neither am I, and neither is anybody with their stuff. So this was a great episode. I think this was fun.
Yes,
We like these type of conversations because it allows us to have a little bit of light-hearted conversation.
Yeah.
So
We're exposing ourselves.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
transparency.
That's what we gotta
Yes,
do.
yes.
On conversations.
You gotta
and
talk
opinions.
real.
Yes.
drop y'all's deal breakers in the comments.
Yes,
We
yes,
will read
tell
them.
us.
We'll reply. Let us know what you're thinking and have some fun with us. So
Yeah.
Yes,
Girls,
please
see if you agree with me.
Yes, and please subscribe. Turn on your notifications. And thank
Hit the
you.
like button.
Yes.
all of that.
Yes. Thank you so much for joining us on
Conversations and opinions.
Bye.
Bye.
Keep your mind going about a mile a minute. Hit the like button, let us know you're with it.